Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The air on Kaliara was thick with anticipation, charged with the energies of the ancient past. Nathan Carter squinted against the shimmering light that danced off the bioluminescent flora, illuminating the landscape with a surreal glow. Towering above him were floating mountain ranges, their ethereal beauty belying the inherent dangers hidden within. He had traveled halfway across the galaxy to uncover secrets long thought lost, artifacts of the aliens, one of the most enigmatic races in the universe. His boots crunched softly on the ground as he moved, parting the soft underbrush with deliberate care. Even in this alien realm, Nathan held close to his human instincts, alert to the sensations enveloping him. He was a man of action, forged from years of exploration, but there was a sense of reverence coursing through his veins that stopped him in his tracks. Nathan took a moment to breathe, realizing the significance of his mission. He had heard tales of the sacred spear, a legendary weapon said to possess untold power, rumored to be buried alongside an ancient alien warrior, one who had defended their people against unspeakable evils. Stories woven with both history and myth, blurring the lines between potential and reality. Dressed in practical expedition gear, Nathan cut a striking figure. The sun-kissed skin and tousled hair painted the picture of adventure, but his mind was labyrinthine, filled with thoughts of humanity's insatiable quest for dominance. The stories of the aliens fascinated him, yet he couldn't shake the nagging feeling of superiority ingrained in his upbringing. As Nathan trudged deeper into the heart of the forest, an eerie calm fell over him. The hum of life seemed to still, as if the very world held its breath. It was then that he stumbled upon the burial site, a colossal stone slab adorned with inscriptions that glowed faintly under the dim light. He traced the elaborate engravings, feeling a pull he could not explain. He peered closer, and at its center, he spotted it, the sacred spear. It stood like a sentinel, half buried but radiant, beckoning him with an allure that surged deep in his core. Nathan's heart raced as he reached out, fingers brushing against the cold metal. The moment he pulled it free from the earth, a violent tremor shook the ground beneath him. Boughs cracked, and a cacophony of whispers spiraled into the air, echoing through the dense forest. And then swirling lights emerged from the spear, coalescing before him into an unmistakable form, a figure that shimmered like stardust. Before him stood Lyra, the spirit of the alien warrior, her beauty both striking and ethereal. Long silvery hair floated around her, as if underwater, and her eyes glowed with ethereal intensity. "You dare disturb my mother's grave?" Her voice rang out, the air thick with authority and an undertone of sorrow. Nathan stepped back, a mix of astonishment and dread coursing through him. "I didn't mean to." "You take what is not yours," Lyra interjected, her expression a tempest of anger and heartache. "The sacred spear is not a trophy. It is a bond of my lineage." With every word, an unspoken connection began to weave between them. Nathan's heart raced. This was not just another artifact. She was a guardian, a protector, a manifestation of a culture he barely understood. In that charged moment, their eyes locked, a tension sparked between them. He could see her tempering anger with curiosity, the way she studied him, searching for answers in his soul. Nathan took a deep breath, feeling the gravity of his actions. "I'm not your enemy," he said, hoping to convey the sincerity in his heart. "I came here to learn, to understand. Please help me." Lyra's expression softened, though the fury didn't entirely fade. As ancient customs weighed heavy, she struggled with her duty against the burgeoning sensation of connection. "To honor your intrusion, you must abide by alien law. You have disturbed the sacred, therefore, you are now bound to me." "Bound?" Nathan echoed, uncertainty creeping in. "What does that mean?" "By the laws of my people, you are now my husband," she declared, her voice resonating with resolute finality. "Your actions have made us one, however unwittingly. You must now stay with me until the bond exists in harmony." As those words settled between them, an intricate destiny unfolded, one that promised strife and growth, culture clashes, and an uncharted melding of hearts and minds. Nathan stood frozen, grappling with the weight of Lyra's proclamation. The world around them faded to a whisper, and all that remained was the intensity of her gaze. I didn't mean this," Nathan stammered, feeling the gravity of the situation engulf him like an oppressive fog. "I came seeking history knowledge, not to claim anyone as my wife." "The spear has chosen you, human," Lyra replied, her voice a melodic blend of power and sorrow. "It is the will of my lineage. You may have thought it just a relic, but it is much more. Its magic binds us now." He could feel a palpable pull toward her, an unexplainable connection that transcended logic and reason. In her presence, Nathan experienced an awakening, the feeling of being part of something larger than himself. A part of him, however, screamed against this fate, the very essence of his human pride igniting a defensive spark. Lyra, sensing his hesitance, stepped closer, her presence bolstered by the aura of the spear. "You are not without choice, Nathan. But to reject this bond is to thrust both our fates into chaos. What if I abandon you? Would that break the connection?" He challenged, desperation creeping into his voice. "No," she replied, fierce determination cloaking her words. "If you run, the consequences for both of us would be dire. The spear does not merely bind us in spirit, it binds our fates, our people. If you abandon me, you will invoke the wrath of my ancestors." A daunting silence fell between them as the implications of her words echoed in Nathan's mind. Torn between human instincts and an undeniable connection to this warrior spirit, he felt the tightening of the invisible threads of destiny. The spear, now resting between them like a powerful third presence, pulsed in rhythm with his heart. "Then what must I do?" Nathan asked, resignation lacing his tone. "You must learn what it is to be alien," Lyra replied, a flicker of hope igniting in her luminous eyes. Over the ensuing days, Nathan began his crash course in alien culture. Lyra introduced him to rituals and customs infused with deep spirituality. The aliens believed profoundly in the cycles of life, viewing their connections to each other as threads in a grand tapestry woven through time. "Each day, we celebrate our ancestors," Lyra explained, bringing him to a sacred grove adorned with luminescent stones marking ancient burial sites. "It is not simply remembrance, but a way to invite their wisdom back into our lives." Nathan knelt before one such stone, tracing the intricate patterns with curiosity. "So, you believe their spirits guide you?" "Not only guide," Lyra replied, her voice filled with conviction. "They empower us. They give us strength when we face trials." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a myriad of colors across the sky, Nathan felt the weight of the alien belief resonate within him. He wondered what insights his own ancestors might have to offer, connecting him further to this alien world. Yet, doubts loomed in the corners of his thoughts. Would he be accepted here? Would he ever fit within a realm so vastly different from his own? The deeper Nathan delved into alien culture, the more difficult it became to ignore the undercurrents of tension bubbling beneath the surface. Lyra's people eyed him warily, some with veiled hostility. They whispered among themselves, their expressions betraying doubts about this human who bore the sacred spear. One day, as they walked through the bustling city of Ileona, Nathan overheard a group of alien warriors discussing him. "The human is a threat," one murmured, eyes hard as stones. "He has claimed what is not his. He will bring ruin to our people." Lyra's fingers tightened around Nathan's arm, sensing the shift in his demeanor. "They do not all accept you," she confessed, anxiety flickering across her features. "I can't blame them," Nathan replied quietly, hurt and frustration welling within him. "They see me as an invader, not a partner." "You must prove yourself to them. I will help you," Lyra insisted, determination igniting her gaze. Days turned into weeks, and Nathan found himself enmeshed in a world that embraced both the awe-inspiring and the terrifying. As he learned to navigate alien culture, he began to hone his skills, training in combat, understanding strategy, and even attempting to learn their melodic language. With every challenge, Lyra became his guide, her spirit igniting a tenacity within him. They spent evenings exchanging stories of their worlds, revealing wounds, hopes, and dreams that lay hidden beneath their surfaces. One particular evening, they found themselves overlooking the sparkling lakes at twilight, the bioluminescent flora dancing in the moonlight. They shared laughter amid the wistfulness that space and time had carved into their souls. Nathan gazed at Lyra, admiring the way the ethereal glow cast light upon her face. "You're unlike anyone I've ever met," he admitted, vulnerability flaring in his voice. Lyra turned to him, the warmth of connection wrapping around them like a comforting embrace. "And you are not the man I initially despised. You are resilient, Nathan, and that draws me closer to you." As the night deepened, Nathan leaned a fraction closer, mingling the fear of rejection with a budding attraction. Their breaths mingled in the chill air, each heartbeat amplifying the inevitable realization of what lay ahead, a bond that would shape their destinies and challenge their very essence. The sun rose in vibrant hues over Kaliara, spilling its golden light across the ethereal landscape, igniting the jungle with energy. Nathan woke to the sound of cicadas chirping and the gentle rustle of leaves whispering secrets. A new day awaited, and with it, boundless challenges and discoveries. As Nathan stepped outside his modest dwelling, a structure woven from the living trees and bioluminescent vines, he spotted Lyra, sitting cross-legged by the shimmering lake, her ethereal form contrasting beautifully against the natural wonder. The world felt alive around them, and he watched as she meditated, imbued with quiet strength and serenity. The spear, resting against her side like a faithful companion, glowed faintly, resonating with the rhythms of nature. "Good morning, Lyra," Nathan called, feeling the warmth of the sun on his skin. He took a seat beside her, mesmerized by the tranquil scene. "Good morning, Nathan," she replied, her eyes opening, revealing depths of stars within. "Are you ready for another day of lessons?" "Lessons?" he echoed, a hint of dread rippling through him. "What do you have in store?" "Today, you will learn the art of combat," she announced, a determined smile playing on her lips. "You must prove to my people that you deserve to wield the sacred spear. Without skills in battle, they will never accept you." Nathan swallowed hard, the weight of inadequacy creeping back. "Combat? How am I supposed to match your people? I've never been much of a fighter." Lyra leaned closer, her voice soft yet firm. "You do not have to be. Fighting is not only skill, it is strategy, instincts, and heart. Trust in yourself, and I will guide you." The training ground lay beyond the city, a vast arena woven from verdant flora and prepared for the rigors of fight. As they approached, Nathan's heart hammered in his chest. He watched aliens practicing their graceful forms, fluid movements that blended strength and elegance, contrasting with his own crude instincts. "Focus on your opponent's energy," Lyra instructed, guiding him into a stance. "Understand their intentions. Anticipate their moves. This is not mere brute strength." Nathan nodded, trying to absorb her teachings, but the moment they faced off, he faltered. Lyra moved with effortless grace, darting around him, testing his defenses. He swung his arm instinctively, but she dodged, laughter dancing on her lips. "Be fluid, Nathan. Move with the rhythm," she encouraged, her voice a melody, and as she struck back, a newfound fire ignited within him. They engaged in a series of back-and-forth exchanges, laughter blending with purposeful concentration. Each encounter chipped away at his insecurities, and soon, his movements grew more confident. As the sun reached its zenith, sweat dripped down his brow, but a sense of exhilaration surged within him. He began to anticipate Lyra's strikes, his instincts sharpening. After what felt like hours of training, Nathan finally landed a light jab against her shoulder. Lyra paused, a bright smile illuminating her face. "Well done. You are learning." "I actually hit you," he breathed, exhilarated. "Now imagine what your ancestors must have felt in their battles," she replied thoughtfully. "They drew strength from each other, even in moments of doubt. With this training, you can begin to honor that legacy." As the day wound down, Nathan felt a sense of connection growing stronger between them, a partnership forged through shared effort and understanding. But the shadows of doubt still loomed as he thought about the alien community, their continued skepticism echoing in his mind. That evening, as twilight descended upon Kaliara, Nathan found himself standing before Lyra in a secluded alcove by the lake. "What if they never accept me?" he asked quietly. "What if I'm not enough?" Lyra approached him, an uncanny intensity in her eyes, filled with compassion. You are more than enough, Nathan. Acceptance is a journey, not a destination. My people will see your heart and your strength. I believe in you. A flicker of hope ignited, but Nathan couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. It's just everything feels so foreign. I don't want to let you down. You will not, she affirmed, stepping closer. And remember, I am not just your shield. I am your partner. Her words rung in his ears as their gazes locked, the air between them charged with emotion. Nathan leaned toward her, heart racing, and brushed his fingers against her cheek, feeling the cool warmth of her skin. Time slowed, the world around them fading into nothingness. A gentle smile spread across Lyra's face. You must never forget the bond that connects us. It is what will guide our paths forward. Before he could respond, the sound of rustling branches interrupted them, and both turned to see a group of alien warriors approaching from the trees, their expressions wary, but not unfriendly. Nathan braced himself, acutely aware of their gazes. Lyra, one of the warriors said, a tall figure with sharp features. We have come to discuss the recent developments. Lyra straightened, enduring the weight of her people's scrutiny. Ah, Caden, she greeted, her voice steady. You have come to challenge Nathan? Caden's gaze shifted to Nathan, skepticism evident. You bear the spear, yet you are still an outsider. Prove your worth in the trials, or your binding to Lyra means nothing. Trials? Nathan asked, feeling a surge of anxiety. 3 tests that will assess your strength, spirit, and adaptability, Caden explained. Only then can you truly claim your title among us. Lyra placed a hand on Nathan's shoulder. You are not alone in this, Nathan. I will be by your side, guiding you through each trial. The warriors nodded, but Nathan felt the trepidation lying thick in the air. The thought of overcoming the trials with Lyra's support filled him with determination, even as uncertainty hung over him. As they prepared to face the challenges ahead, Nathan realized that acceptance would not come easy, nor would it be without trial. But with Lyra at his side, he felt the flicker of hope slowly blossoming into a flame. Together, they would forge a path through adversity, blending their worlds, cultures, and selves in ways neither could foresee. The following morning, Nathan awoke with his heart racing, anticipation and dread swirling within him like a tempest. Today marked the beginning of the trials, a series of challenges designed to test his worthiness in the eyes of Lyra's people. He dressed quickly, steeling himself for the day ahead, and stepped outside to find Lyra awaiting him, her expression a mixture of pride and determination. Are you ready? She asked, her silvery hair cascading down her shoulders, vibrant against the dawn light. Ready as I'll ever be, Nathan replied, forcing a smile, but inside, anxiety knotted in his stomach. They made their way to the arena, where the air buzzed with anticipation. Alien warriors gathered, their expressions cloaked in a mix of scrutiny and curiosity. Caden stood at the center, a commanding presence, overseeing the proceedings. Today we will test you, Nathan Carter, Caden announced, his voice ringing clear. 3 trials await. Each will challenge a different facet of your spirit. The first trial was one of strength, a test of physical endurance and prowess. Nathan stepped forward to face a towering alien named Theros, whose muscles rippled beneath skin that glimmered like polished stone. The arena was set with a series of obstacles, boulders to lift, walls to scale, and paths to navigate. As the trial commenced, Nathan felt the weight of eyes upon him, but he focused on Theros, who was as fierce as he was magnificent. The two squared off, grappling for dominance. Nathan pushed himself to his physical limits, fueled by the encouragement of Lyra, cheering from the sidelines. Keep your center of gravity, Lyra shouted, her voice cutting through the noise. With each passing moment, Nathan's muscles screamed in protest, yet he willed himself to push through the pain. The crowd roared in approval as he displayed resilience, managing to push Theros back through sheer determination and focus. When the trial concluded, Nathan stood panting and exhausted, but alive with the thrill of victory, even as Caden's expression remained unreadable. Impressive, human, Caden acknowledged, nodding slowly. Yet physical strength is not enough. Your spirit must shine just as brightly. With the first trial conquered, the second challenge approached, one of agility and strategy. Caden explained the rules. Nathan would need to navigate a complex maze designed to simulate combat scenarios, filled with illusions meant to confuse and distract him. Remember, Nathan, strategy is key, Lyra advised, her eyes locked onto his. Do not rely solely on strength. Your mind must lead you. As Nathan entered the maze, the walls shimmered like a mirage, warping reality. Shadows shifted and voices whispered, trying to mislead him. Nathan closed his eyes briefly, taking a deep breath to calm the chaos in his mind. He concentrated on Lyra's voice, grounding himself to the present moment. Think. Follow your instincts, he repeated to himself. Navigating through the maze was more challenging than he could have anticipated, but Nathan focused on solving the riddles laid before him. He recalled the patterns of the alien combat style, fluid movements, anticipating an opponent's next step. Emerging from the maze, heart-pounding in exhilaration, he was met with approving nods from the watching aliens, including Lyra, whose pride radiated like sunlight. 2 trials completed, Caden confirmed, his demeanor shifting slightly. But one remains, the trial of the heart. This will truly test the bond between you and Lyra. The final trial required them to bear witness to one another's determination in the face of vulnerability. Nathan and Lyra would face an emotional challenge, revealing their deepest fears and uncertainties. As the warriors gathered around, Nathan felt a mix of apprehension and hesitation. Lyra's presence steadied him, her unwavering gaze instilling strength within him. To embrace the heart is to accept both light and darkness within, Caden instructed solemnly. Speak your truth, and trust that your bond will endure. Nathan took a deep breath, feeling exposed before the audience of alien warriors. He glanced at Lyra, who nodded encouragingly. I fear that I am not worthy of this bond we share, he admitted, his voice shaking. Every night, I wonder if my human nature will cast a shadow over what we are building. What if I am not enough for you or your people? Lyra's eyes widened, her heart aching for Nathan's confession. You are more than enough to me, Nathan, she spoke softly, her voice carrying the weight of truth. But my fear lies not in who you are, but in losing you. I fear the judgment of my people and the potential of always being viewed as an outsider. Their vulnerabilities, laid bare before the gathering, resonated deeply. The alien warriors watched silently, and in that moment, Nathan felt the connection between him and Lyra strengthen, forged through honesty and shared uncertainties. Caden stepped forward, his features softening. You have both faced yourselves, unmasking your fears in a spirit of unity. This bond is not without its challenges, but it is a testament to your strength. The gathered aliens murmured in agreement, and Nathan did not miss the glimmers of admiration growing in their eyes. Do you have the courage to face what lies ahead? Caden continued, locking his gaze on Nathan. To protect your bond and stand with Lyra against what others may say. Yes, Nathan replied with conviction, his voice steady. I will stand with her, and I will prove to your people that love can bridge the gaps between worlds. With those words, Caden raised his arm, a signal of acceptance, and the crowd erupted into cheers. Then welcome, Nathan Carter, Caden proclaimed. You are no longer just a human among us. You are part of our kin. You bear the sacred spear by right. As Lyra rushed to his side, joy dancing in her eyes, Nathan felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wash over him. Despite the trials ahead, he had taken significant steps forward, as a warrior, a partner, and a bridge between their worlds. In that moment, as cheers rang out around them, Nathan and Lyra stood united, 2 souls entwined within the tapestry of Kaliara, ready to face the uncertain future together. The days that followed the trials were filled with a new sense of purpose for Nathan. He walked the streets of Ileona with a growing confidence, the whispered doubts of the aliens transforming into cautious respect. Lyra remained by his side, their bond deepening as they navigated the complexities of both their cultures together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting warm hues across the bustling city, Nathan and Lyra found themselves atop a hill overlooking the community. The serene beauty of Kaliara surrounded them, its bioluminescent flora illuminating the landscape with a magical glow. "Tonight, we celebrate your acceptance," Lyra said, pride radiating from her. "My people are gathering to honor our new bond." The thought filled Nathan with both excitement and trepidation. While he found he had won the respect of many, there were still those who viewed him with skepticism, the shadow of his outsider status lingering. "The challenges ahead may not be over," she warned, sensing his uncertainty. "Some will still test our unity, but know that your heart and courage are what matter most." As evening fell, they mingled with the other aliens, laughter and music filling the air. Nathan was amazed by the vibrancy of the celebrations, the rhythmic echoes of alien songs carried on the gentle breeze. He stood next to Lyra, wrapped in the warmth of her presence, as she engaged openly with her people, her laughter infectious. "Look at you," she teased, nudging him playfully. "You're already more alien than human, Nathan." "Maybe I'm just a little better at blending in," he replied, smiling, but his heart drummed with a creeping anxiety. As the festivities continued, Nathan felt the weight of scrutiny at the edges of his awareness. A group of aliens, led by Caden, approached them, their expressions a mix of curiosity and judgment. "Now that you've proven yourself, Nathan," Caden began, his voice steady but firm, "there's a path laid before you. The sacred spear is a vessel for your journey, but wielding it comes with responsibilities. You must be a protector, not just for Lyra, but for all aliens." Nathan nodded, the sincerity of the moment resonating within him. "I understand, Caden. I will stand by Lyra and her people." "Words are easy," Caden replied, a contemplative glint in his gaze, "but actions will speak louder. Are you prepared to face the challenges that lie ahead? You may soon be called to defend our land." As the tension built around him, Nathan swallowed hard, contemplating the duty suddenly thrust upon his shoulders. "Yes," he said resolutely, "whatever it takes." Just then, a commotion erupted several yards away, drawing their attention. A group of aliens was gathered, whispering fervently. Nathan's instincts flared, a sense of urgency igniting in his gut as he and Lyra made their way over. "What's happening?" Lyra inquired, concern etching her features. "The factions have come to a decision," Caden answered grimly. "They wish to discuss the threat from the Marians." "Marians?" Nathan echoed, confusion washing over him. "Who are they?" "An alien faction known for their hostility," Caden explained. "They seek to conquer our lands, believing that our resources will bolster their own." Silence fell over the gathering as the weight of Caden's words sank in. Nathan felt his heart race once more, the realization that their newfound bond could soon be tested in the crucible of conflict. "Together, we will protect what is ours," Lyra declared fiercely. The warriors around them nodded in agreement, their spirits ignited with unity. "What can I do?" Nathan asked, urgency thrumming in his veins. "What is our plan?" "We must defend our borders and prepare for any potential assault," Caden stated, determination evident in his eyes. "But we need someone to bridge our people with the humans. Your presence gives us a unique advantage, Nathan. Many will listen to you." The enormity of the task weighed heavily on him. "I'm still learning your ways. How can I be of help?" "I will teach you diplomacy," Lyra promised, her confidence reassuring. "We will visit the humans and propose a united front. We will show them that we are stronger together." With the plan set in motion, Nathan felt the anxiety settle within him. This was a challenge he dared not shy away from. The idea of stepping into the realms of both worlds, of becoming the bridge between the aliens and humanity, exhilarated him. As preparations began to unfold, Nathan and Lyra spent evenings strategizing. It was during these sessions they ventured into deeper conversations, their bond intertwining even further as they bared their souls to one another. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, Lyra shared stories of alien legends, tales of past conflicts and heroes, of their ancestors who'd stood firm against invasions. Each story painted a vivid picture of bravery, of resilience, deepening Nathan's understanding of what it truly meant to be alien. "I want to honor that legacy," Nathan declared, feeling the pulse of courage ignite within him. "I want to protect this world and your people, Lyra. You've opened my eyes to what it truly means to care for one another." She smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "And I want to learn about the tenacity of humanity. Together, we can forge something beautiful, despite our differences." But as they prepared for what lay ahead, Nathan could not shake the feeling of uncertainty. Would they truly be able to unite their worlds against the threat of the Marians? The night grew darker, cloaking them in shadows, but Nathan and Lyra remained close, two souls fighting against an uncertain fate, each step binding them closer together. They would hover on the precipice of war, but within their hearts lay the fierce hope of love that spanned worlds. The preparations continued, tension hanging in the air like storm clouds as Nathan and Lyra rallied the alien warriors and human allies for the impending confrontation. News of the Marians' movements spread like wildfire, and a sense of urgency ignited the hearts of both communities. Standing at the border between the alien lands and the human territories, Nathan felt the weight of leadership settle upon his shoulders. He had earned the respect of the aliens through his trials, but the battle lay ahead, a true test of their unity. "Today we fight for our homes," he declared, commanding the gathered troops, his voice steady and resolute. "But we fight not just for land. We fight for the bond we have forged, for our families, for a future that holds promise." Beside him, Lyra radiated strength, her presence a beacon of hope. Together, they had united their people under a shared banner, a vision of resilience against the darkness that threatened to consume them. As the Marians approached, a sense of dread washed over the ranks. The enemy warriors marched in perfect formation, their bulky forms imposing against the backdrop of nature's serenity. Colorful banners rippled in the breeze, emblazoned with symbols of conquest. "Remember your training," Lyra called out, her voice cutting through the tension. "Trust in one another, and let our spirit guide our actions." With a deafening battle cry, the two forces clashed against one another. Nathan felt adrenaline course through his veins as chaos erupted around him. The sounds of clashing metal and war cries reverberated in his mind, drowning out all doubt. He fought valiantly, fueled by the connection he shared with Lyra and the aliens. Each strike was more than just an act of combat. It was a declaration of unity. He remembered their stories of strength, of ancestors who had faced insurmountable odds, and he drew upon that legacy. But the Marians were relentless. They overwhelmed the defenses, their brute strength threatening to breach the ranks. Nathan caught a glimpse of Caden engaged in fierce battle, his form cutting through the chaos with fluid precision. "Together!" Lyra shouted, her voice penetrating the noise surrounding them. She leaped gracefully into battle, her spear slicing through the air, wounding foes with lethal grace. Nathan's heart swelled with pride and inspiration, and he pushed forward, fighting side by side with Lyra and the aliens. They were no longer just human and alien. They had become a cohesive unit, two worlds blended into one. As the battle surged on, Nathan found himself separated from Lyra in the frenzy of combat. He pushed forward, seeking her, the realization of needing her by his side igniting a new fire in his heart. And then he spotted her, a chaotic blur, surrounded by Marians. His instincts kicked in, and without a second thought, he rushed towards her, navigating through the throngs of enemies. "Lyra," he yelled, fighting his way through, fueled by urgency and fear for her safety. Just as he reached her, a Mari warrior struck, aiming a blow with ruthless intent. Nathan's movements rushed into action, his body moving on pure instinct as he intercepted the blow with the sacred spear. The spear glimmered brilliantly, resonating with power as he diverted the attack and countered with fierce determination. "Are you all right?" he asked, breathless, locking eyes with her. "I am now," she replied with a fierce edge of appreciation. "But we must advance." With new resolve, they fought back to back, their movements synchronized as they defended against the onslaught. Nathan felt an extraordinary sense of purpose, thriving in the urgency of the moment, their bond infusing him with newfound strength. As the battle raged on, Nathan's focus sharpened. He saw Caden rallying the aliens, urging them to push toward the heart of the fight. Lyra's voice resonated beside him, guiding him through strategies, reminding him they were in this together. In one final surge, Fueled by the collective resolve of the aliens and humans, they broke through the lines of the Marians. The tide of battle began to turn as their enemy faltered. Facing the Mari commander, a figure clad in dark armor, Nathan thrust the sacred spear forward, channeling his every ounce of determination. For Kaliara, for unity. The spear met the commander's weapon with a resounding clash, a spark of energy crackling through the air. In that moment, Nathan felt the spirit of the warriors who had come before him, a strength beyond his own, flow through him, amplifying his resolve. With a decisive movement, he disarmed the commander, taking advantage of the moment to strike a non-lethal blow. The Mari commander fell back, and the sight seemed to reverberate through the ranks, igniting something within both the aliens and the humans. "Retreat!" the commander yelled, fear overtaking him. The Marians faltered, and Nathan felt the collective surge of victory as the enemy began to scatter. Warriors cheered, their spirits lifted, honor restored. The fear that had loomed over them transformed into a celebration of unity. As silence descended, Nathan found Lyra by his side, pride shining in her eyes. "You fought as one of us today," she said softly, her voice carrying the warmth of devotion. "And I couldn't have done it without you," he replied, feeling vulnerable yet utterly fulfilled. The bond they had forged transcended the battlefield, threading together the very essence of both their worlds. They had faced the shadows of fear and doubt, and together they had emerged stronger. With the Marians driven back, Nathan and Lyra stood together, witnessing the dawn of a new era, a fragile peace born of resilience and unity. As the sun rose high in the sky, its light bathed Kaliara in golden warmth, breathing life into their hopes. "I once feared I would never feel at home anywhere," Nathan confessed, glancing at Lyra. "But standing beside you, I finally understand what it means to belong." "We have built our own home, Nathan," she replied, her hand slipping into his. "Together, we embrace both worlds, bridging the divides." With their fingers entwined, they turned toward their people, the gleam of hope in their eyes a reflection of the vast possibilities ahead. As they faced the future, the promise of love and unity stretched across the horizon, binding human and alien in harmony. In that moment, Nathan knew they could and would create a legacy together, one that embraced the heart of both cultures, woven forever by the sacred spear and their unwavering bond.